So the NFL is filing a grievance against the Nflpa over allegations the union advised running backs to consider exaggerating injuries to gain leverage in contract talks, and seeking an order for the union to cease and desist from improper conduct. So, yes, the NFL is not in sense suing the NFLPA. A lot of people, when they see grievance, they think means suing. No, they're not suing them. They're pretty much, as AJ Hawk says in the Pat McAfee show, they're giving them a demerit. They're saying, hey, listen, stop it. Stop what you're doing. Stop trying to cause more problems and, start more issues down the line. Just stop it altogether. And that's really what they're doing here. They're trying to say, listen, we understand what you guys are recommending these players do, and if they do what you're saying to do, you're going to be in trouble for it. You're going to be held responsible if they start faking injuries to, try to get some money, right? And this also really stems from one simple thing, and that's actually J.C. Tretter. Now, J.C. Tretter is very high up in the NFLPA. He is a retired football player, but here's what he said, and this is what sparked the whole entire thing. He said, you need to create as much leverage as you possibly can, Tretter said, and that's the tough thing with the franchise tag, or being restricted in movement. It decreases your leverage, then you have to find creative ways to build leverage elsewhere. I think we've seen issues now that I don't think anyone would say they were faking injuries, but we've seen players who don't want to be where they currently are having injuries that made them unable to process and play. But you're not able to get fined and you're not able to get punished for not reporting. So there are issues like that. I don't think I'm allowed to ever recommend that, at least publicly. But I think each player needs to find a way to build up leverage to try and get a fair deal. And that's really what all these guys are looking for, is to be compensated fairly. And yes, 1000% JC Tretter is actually spitting facts here. Because if you do not, again, if you do not have an injury and you do not report, you will be fined heavily. If you do not have an injury and you do not play a season, that season does not count. And look how it worked out for Le'Veon Bell when he sat out for a year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was absolutely horrendous for his career and really just ended his career. So it's not a smart idea by any stretch of imagination here to refuse to play or just simply not play at all. But the thing that it comes down to, of course, is these running backs are desperate. They have a very short shelf life. They don't have much of a career. Let's be honest. Most running backs have, I think the average running back's like 3 to 4 years. So they want to find something, some way, so that they can actually make the most amount of money. And as JC Tretter is kind of alluding to here, that he is, again, publicly not saying you should do this, but this is a way to, put it out there that you can create leverage by faking injuries. If Le'Veon Bell would have faked an injury, back when he sat out that year, he would have still gotten paid $11 million. He would have still probably got a new contract, maybe from the Steelers or somebody else, and it would have worked out a lot better for him in the end. And again, faking injuries is kind of almost impossible to say the player isn't faking an injury. Well, yes, you can't be like, oh, my ACL hurts. Oh, it hurts so bad. I can't do anything. Because then they're going to be like, all right, get surgery. Or they're going to get your doctors to check you out and say, wow, your ACL looks fine. But there are issues like, well, my muscle, my leg is tensing up and I can't walk. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't run. And there's certain things you can do to fake injuries, and that's what these players are actually doing. And I'm not saying the players are doing it right now, but I'm saying this is what JC Tretter is kind of alluding to. Is building leverage and kind of getting your, chance at controlling the contract and controlling the higher ground. Now, again, like I said before, it's ironic because JC Tretter doesn't technically say that they should do it, but, I mean, it's like I give you the blueprints of how to do something, but then I say don't do it. Like, I give you blueprints on, I'm saying, think about something I could say on YouTube that would not be, considered problems. I give you a blueprint on how to jumpstart a car, right? But I say, don't do it though. I give you a whole tutorial. I show you every little step. I give you every step on how to do it, how to get it, what tools you need, what you need to do, what you don't need to do, how not to get caught. I give you everything, right? But I say, but don't do it though. Am I not guilty? Like, come on now. Bro, come on now. I gave you the blueprint. I told you how to do it, but then I go, hey, now that you know all this information, don't do it. And by the way, that car over there has not been touched for 2 days. But don't do it though. Just don't do it, man. I'm just saying, bro. You should be saving up for a car. Been a week now for the car over there. But don't do it though. Yes, at the end of the day, is the person doing it the person in the wrong? Yes. Is the person doing it the person who, should be punished? Yes. Are they still doing the act? Yes. But, I mean, come on now. You just gave every single NFL player the blueprint on how to get more leverage, how to make more money, and then said, and I quote here, I don't think I can actually say this publicly. So, you're saying this privately then. You're saying privately I'll say this, but I'm not going to say this publicly. Like, it's a bad look, right? It's definitely a bad look. Now, there is one more part of this context I do have to go ahead and add in here before I give my final thoughts and opinions. And I think it's... Is there actually? No, I think that was the actual second final context. Okay, so that's the final context there right there. Okay, I thought there was more final context on Pat McAfee's show, but it was actually not. So again, like I said, let me give my thoughts and opinions, okay? A player should never fake an injury. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care what the scenario is. You should not be faking injuries. Because first off, you're under contract to play. Whatever the contract is, you signed it. You agreed to do it. You agreed to go out there and participate and, give it your all. And yes, at the end of the day, I don't think running backs are being paid as fairly as they can be. But that doesn't give you a reason to fake an injury. I don't think it gives you a reason to fake injuries. I understand when it comes to business. Trust me, I went to college for business. I went to college for business and business administration and computer science. I understand the concept of business, okay? I do. And I understand about leverage and about, having the higher ground and making sure that, you pretty much can dictate and determine and kind of swing how this contract negotiation is going to go. And yes, if you lose higher ground, you're going to probably lose some money because of that. But you can't manipulate the contract in business and try to hold it over your employer's head or the other contract's head by saying, hey, listen, come here. You either pay me what I want or, oh, I'm injured, right? You can't do that. You really can't do that. And actually, no, I just remember, there is one last part of context that really sparks everything. And this was actually after the whole Jim Irsay thing, when Jim Irsay came out and, he was saying how he was not happy with how some running backs are going about, their business when it comes to contract negotiations. And because he came out and said that, then you had, there was a whole thing about Jonathan Taylor being injured and he wanted a new contract. This was leaked or this was posted. This is why the NFL filed a grievance. Because they were like, oh, hold up. Jim Irsay is saying some things, and that makes sense. He's saying there's some foul play going on. That J.C. Jackson said this. Then, also go back to the fact that Jonathan Taylor wants a new contract and now is not playing or might not play. This doesn't add up, okay? This is not adding up. Like, we have our calculator out right now, Poindexter style, and this is not adding up in any way possible. So, again, like I said, I don't agree with faking injuries in any way. I'm surprised the NFLPA, J.C. Tretter, even alluded to this or even got into this or even honestly gave his opinion on this, because this is the type of scenario where, especially if you're the NFLPA guy, this is going to cause problems, okay? I'm not trying to say we have in any way corrupt NFL. We don't, okay? Roger Goodell is very much into FAIR. Fair. He's very much into that word. He wants everything to be played fair. Give me a second. Fairly. Fair. He's very okay. You know what? He's very into that word right there, and I don't think he in any way. This is unacceptable. But with that being said, though, it is what it is. Obviously, it's all allegations. At the end of the day, no one is quote unquote faking injuries. Publicly. I mean, there's no player that came out and said, "Hey guys, guess what? Team didn't give me my money, so oopsies. I just tore my hamstring." And the doctors, yeah, I know they're saying that I didn't tear my hamstrings. I tore my hamstring. They can suck it. Like, no, there's no player coming out and saying that kind of stuff. So, this is all alleged allegations based on, the NFLPA. And again, they're not suing the NFLPA. The NFL isn't. They're just kind of saying, hey, stop it. No. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to get players to not want to play for us, okay? You are not allowed to do that. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.